Tawlia from beeswax, and what I'd like to show to you today is how it is that you use our candles and how best to maintain them for your maximum use. What we have here are 3 of the same size candles that have been burning for different lengths of time. The one on your left is the one that we just lit. The one in the middle here has been burning for about an hour and a half. And what I like to share with people is that our candles are very contingent on which one you purchase or select depending on what your particular usage is. What we're working with here today are TL5s. They are optimally used for someone who burns a candle on average 2 to say 4 hours, although you can burn them longer, but 2 to 4 is a good time. This candle in the middle has been burning for an hour and a half, and it's still completely fine. The wick is the proper height, the pool is far away from the edge. But as we move to the candle to its side, you can see that the flame is much taller, and the reason for that is because the wick has gotten much taller as the level of the wax has gone down. This candle at this point in time, after about a 2.5 hour burn, requires something that we call maintenance. And it is a lovingly hands-on process that manages the height of your wick so that you do not have very large wicks. If you let this go much farther, you can create a soot that comes off the candle. And if you ever see any little whiffs of black soot coming off your candle, it is basically saying to you, my wick is too tall, please adjust me. So by simply hugging these edges, what we have done is minimize the pool, which elevates the level of the pool and has brought the wick down to an appropriate size. What we have also done is we've utilized the softer wax on the edge of the candle, and by hugging it, we're simply doing nothing more than feeding the fuel to the flame. The other method that we use for adjusting the height of the wick on our candles is something called top-ups. It's actually a very unique manner in which to extend the life of your candle. It can be done by purchasing our top-ups, or it can also be done utilizing the bottoms or the ends of your candles that you have from previous candles. And what you'll see here is, again, the wick is taller, the flame has gotten big, and I could trim the wick, I could hug it again, but the other option is you simply add bits of wax. And what we're doing by this process is simply raising the level of the pool and bringing it up so that the wick gets shorter. Same process as we did with the hugging. And you can see by just adding those few little bits, I've already brought the wick down some. Do not add too much at a time because you could drown the wick. And just let those melt, and you will probably find within a minute that it is actually perfect. So to demonstrate again how it is that we can utilize beeswax to top up a candle to adjust the height of the wick, I'm showing you the EF10, which is, if you like this process of topping up your candles and you burn candles for a minimum of 3 hours plus, this is one of the best candles to use for topping up. Now, as you can see, again, wick is tall, flame is large, it's moving around a lot, and you can see a few little whiffs of some black smoke coming off it. Simply again, add some bits of beeswax, put them close enough to the wick that they will melt sooner, and always add a little bit at a time. Let that simply melt, and you will find that the pool will come back to the perfect height with the perfect size wick. So this TL5 has gone down in the pool level somewhat. The wick has gotten taller, and the flame is getting larger. To correct that, we could have used the top-ups, but at this point in time, I actually should demonstrate how it is that you use scissors to trim the wick. You don't want to take it down a lot, and I know a lot of people prefer to put the candle out. It's not necessary. With a little bit of practice, you can just learn how to come into your candle, slightly cut off the edge, and wipe it onto a piece of tissue. If you do it immediately as far as the wiping, your scissors stay nice and clean, and with that simple little trim, you can see that the flame has come down to a proper size. It is always best to do a little at a time, and as I'm looking at this, I think I'd like to take just a little off that side and just bring it down a little bit more. At beeswax, we put great effort and time and research into creating very efficient, integral, safe candles. Everything that we have demonstrated and shown you today is designed to help you maintain your candles properly so that you are receiving the most efficiency, the most time, and the most pleasure from our products. We appreciate your interest, and we welcome you to visit our beeswax website. It is www.purebeeswax.com, and we have many pages in there that explain far more about how to use our candles, the values, and all the wonderful properties of beeswax. Thank you very much for joining us today.